Hello guys and welcome back to Sporty Affairs. I am Mithilesh and I have Narendra with me on my side. And today we are going to talk about the second game of IPL. This was played between Chennai Superkings and Delhi Capitals. So Delhi Capital fans rejoice. It was a very lovely day for you guys. You won convincingly by beating Chennai Superkings. And in this video we'll be discussing about what worked well for Delhi and what didn't go well for Chennai. So let's start with what worked for Delhi first. So Narendra, tell me, where do you think Delhi Capitals actually won the game, and what do you think they did different, from last time?
Actually, Delhi is the most improved team over the years. So back in 2018, they finished last. In 2019, they were third, and in the last IPL, they were second. So they are the most improved team for a reason. And what they did in this match is they did everything right. Even the opportunities they lost in the early on, they were they were hard hitting Chennai, but after that Suresh Raina and Moeen Ali partnership came in and they were not able to break it. Ravichandra Ashwin and Amit Mishra, they went for a lot of runs, but they recovered from that. The Mumbai pitch is a really hard for the bowler. It's a myself went there, being from Mumbai, went there for 2-3 matches, and the ground is really small. Plus, there is a dew factor, there is a wind coming from the sea, and those are very difficult conditions for bowlers. Plus, the batting lineup, if you see why Mumbai is so successful, because they produce good batsmen over the years. So this pitch is really favorable for batsmen, and scoring below 180 is a crime on this pitch. And Chennai did just right, they just got 188, and for them to defend that total is always difficult. So what Delhi did right was, to win the toss, go and bowl and get the good total for to bat, and then bat wonderfully. And what a form Shikhar Dhawan is in. Prithvi Shaw continuing his run of form from first class cricket towards the IPL. And those are the really good things, and plus the banter between current brothers, that's a thing to watch. I'm excited towards the next match when Delhi will meet Chennai again in this IPL. What do you think? What went wrong for Chennai?
Well, that was an interesting bit you said about the current brothers, and that's what IPL brings you, right? I mean, you see friend turns foes, brothers turn foes, and that's the beauty of IPL, which brings all of us together. So, coming back to Chennai, I think so. They lost the match in power plays. Yes, they lost the match when they were batting, and they lost the match when they were bowling. Because if you see Chennai's team, right? I mean, they bat till number 10. So I don't know what they were doing in the power play, losing two quick wickets. There was nobody, upping the ante. Moeen Ali did that, and Raina and, Raidu continued. But I felt that they should go very hard in the first 6 overs, and that's where Chennai lost the game. When they came out to bowl, they were not hitting the decks right. I mean, plus Shikhar Dhawan made a very interesting point in after-match presentation. He said that they knew that Chennai is going to bowl wide off Yorkers because that's what they saw in last year's IPL, and they practiced for the same. So that's why you were actually seeing that Delhi is like steamrolling Chennai bowlers, but it was not the case. They already knew that what Chennai is going to bowl, and then they reacted. So that was more like a reactive batting, which I felt Delhi did. And Chennai should have realized that the Delhi batsmen came to know about their tactics, and they should have tweaked in a bit. So that is where Chennai lost. So those 12 overs made a huge difference. Yes, they did get back into the game in the second half while they were batting, but that was too little too late, don't you think?
Yes. So, as Sunil Gavaskar suggested post-match presentation, that Dhoni should definitely think about strategy slightly differently, because he is getting productive nowadays. Others are getting better of him. Even the Sam Curran position, he is a good batsman. Even England team allowing him to go down the order, that is not the case, because he's a youngster. You should allow him to come up front. Even last year we saw him opening few of the matches. I think that's the way to go. Either allow him or Ambati Raidu and give them license to go, because Ruturaj Gaikwad didn't had a good first class season, and they still picked him up as an opener for today's match. I think that's some of those things they need to change. Even Dhoni is someone who can give opportunities to guys, if it's okay if you fail in this one match, then you can go forward the other. But I think it's time for Chennai to make some changes. Moeen Ali, they paid a lot of money for that one player, and he came out really thrashing on today's occasion, and it was needed. Suresh Raina, who missed last year's IPL, but this season he's looking just in form and hitting all those sixes. I think he hit about 4 or 5 sixes in today's match. He's looking good. So batting wise, I think they are good. But the worst part about Chennai situation currently, because of COVID, they are going to play 5 of their matches of this year's IPL on the Mumbai pitch. So they need to think their strategy through. Their bowlers are going for runs, because that will happen. This is Mumbai pitch, as I said, that you expect high scoring games at Wankhede Stadium. It is different from DY Patil. If you go to DY Patil, it's a huge stadium. It's difficult to hit sixes. And if you see, there are 5 pitches on the central of the ground. And if you choose the extreme pitches, then it is advantage. One side boundary gets shorter, the other side boundary gets bigger. So batsman and bowler's strategy differs. That is one of the key things Chennai must consider going forward. And apart from that, we should acknowledge that Delhi Capitals are doing a great job. Ricky Ponting and supporting staff making sure that they are giving Prithvi Shaw the confidence. Changing his technique. He was going away from his body and getting edged out every match after match, and giving him the confidence to come back into the IPL and showing his class, the relentlessness. Even he was dropped a couple of times. That's another thing that Chennai did really wrong. Whenever the opportunity came, they dropped couple of chances for Prithvi Shaw. If you are dropping guy like Prithvi Shaw, he's going to hurt you, and he did it. 72 runs is a lot of score in a short amount of overs. What do you think? What Chennai or Delhi should look forward towards their next match?
Yeah, so that gets on to our summarization section. So for Chennai, I feel that they should rethink their strategy. How do they attack the first 6 overs, whether it's bowling or whether it's batting? Because last year you saw like Chennai were completely out of the tournament. In fact, it's very rare that Chennai being the first team to not make the playoffs usually happens, and that's happened only once, I guess. That was last year. So the think tank needs to put on their thinking hats and come up with a solution that who will play in those first 6 overs and who will target the batsman or who will target the bowler, whatever the thing is. So that is what Chennai needs to do next game. Plus they have so many explosive hitters. Like Dwayne Bravo didn't even bat. We know even Shardul Thakur can bat. But still, like you mentioned, they persisted with Ruturaj Gaikwad at the top, and that didn't work out. Plus, Dhoni is not in form because obviously he's not playing international cricket. So we should not put more pressure on him, I would say. I mean, Dhoni should not put more pressure on him, to be honest. So he can allow guys like Sam Curran, Jadeja, and even Bravo to bat ahead of him, and he can come off to either finish off the innings or something like that. So they should change something in the batting strategy. Bowling wise, I think so they are pretty much sorted. The only mistake they did in the auction was, like you mentioned, they went for a lot of spinners thinking that they will play their games in Chennai, but that didn't happen. They're going to play most of the games in Mumbai. For Delhi, I feel that they did most of the things right, apart from one thing which I observed in the match, and that was Rishabh Pant's captaincy. Hey, this is a great team who is always, progressing year after year, but they have a very inexperienced and a new captain. So if the opposition teams target Pant's captaincy, that will be a very big, opening for the opposition teams to win against them. So that is the only bit of criticism I could find, because batting wise, bowling wise, they were exceptional. Yes, they did go for runs at the end, but it's a T20 game. What do you expect? They are going to go for runs. So overall, I think so Delhi was a pretty balanced team today, and they should not change much. Plus, Rabada, Norhe, they didn't even, make the team. So it would be interesting and exciting to see which 4 players actually make, overseas players make the team, and how Ponting gathers his troops around to, win the tournament. So that's it from us, guys. See you next time.